I am Kanye West. I came here to present my new video.
Yo, Kanye, I'm really happy for you, and I'm gonna let you finish, but I gotta ask, what is your real estate investment strategy? All right, how about some of the people that have inspired you in real estate business, you know, going commercial, residential, things like that?
Truman, Ford, Hughes, Disney, Jobs, West.
No. Real estate, man. Today, we're gonna talk about Kanye West and whether he is a smart investor or not. What's up, friend? Kris Krohn here. Today we're talking about Kanye West, the Kanye West. So many people revere, watch, and follow this man. He is known for being the rapper, the fashion designer, an inventor, a self-proclaimed genius, actor, reality TV star, philanthropist, running for president?
No one man should have all that power.
And a real estate guru. Something, by the way, that I didn't know. In fact, there's so many people that uphold him in such high regard as their muse. He considers himself a Da Vinci, a savant, a Picasso, a self-proclaimed god.
And that means I am your god.
So my team in traditional reaction style have basically taken his philosophies, his business moves, and have packed it all into a little presentation for me. And this is information I haven't seen before. I'm gonna click through, we're gonna read it together, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share with you my personal thoughts on his business moves, on his real estate philosophy, basically find out where we agree, where our philosophies merge, or maybe where I totally disagree. We're both about to find out. Looks like my team's got some stuff queued up here on his investment strategy. All right, so Business Insider looks like they're quoting some things about his approach to asset distribution. According to Forbes, West's $1.3 billion net worth, boy, you can't argue that, comes from a $1.26 billion stake in athletic wear brand Yeezy, which Bank of America valued at $3 billion last year. By the way, that's like 98% of his entire net worth sitting in a clothing line. That is like insanely bizarre to me. Have you ever heard of this like phrase from Buffett that's like diversify? That means like put your money in different places. $17 million in cash, $35 million in stocks, boo. $21 million in real estate, $3.8 million worth in vehicles. I'd like to see what that garage looks like. And $297,000 of livestock. I have in Texas a ranch with 200,000 cows.
Oh, George, not the livestock.
53 million in debt. Okay, that's divided between West and his wife, Kim Kardashian West. I wonder who brought the debt to the table. The reason why people talk about diversification is because if you put all your eggs in one basket and then something happens, it doesn't look pretty. Like, look at the recession that we're sitting in right now. I'm telling you right now that if any of this real estate happens to be luxury or high end, it has suffered greatly. And right now, stocks, I mean, need I say more? We know what happened there. He's got some money sitting in cash, but I'm just, I'm mind boggled right now with the majority of that actually sitting in a clothing line. If you diversify your money into like 10 different places, but 99% of it is sitting in one place, I would probably argue that that's not really actually diversification. That's just having a lot of tiny little pennies distributed over here. Meanwhile, you really do have all your eggs in one basket. By the way, on that $53 million of debt, some of you might be wondering, like, should they be worried about $53 million of debt? Even though that might look like a really big number to you and me, the reality is you've got to look at it in proportion to the total net worth. And right now, their debt only represents a super tiny amount of their entire net worth. So honestly, for them, not a big deal. Looks like in 2014, they bought their home for $20 million, and then they spent 4 years renovating it, putting another $20 million into it. So they're $40 million into this house before they actually moved in. By the way, you got to say something for people that know how to delay gratification. Besides, 4 years, I'm just like curious how you spend $20 million in the house. they found a way. Later tweeted, now that the home is actually worth $60 million, reportedly, but I don't know, maybe buying it for 20 and putting 20 in added another $20 million. It also says in 2017 that they sold their 9,000 square foot mansion to Ukrainian billionaire Marina Akhtin for $17.8 million. The pair paid $9 million for the property in 2013. So they basically doubled their money back in a super short period of time, 4 years. Now, I need to make sure that you understand that if you buy a home and then double the value by dumping money into it, it doesn't necessarily actually go up in value. This is actually a common mistake that people don't understand in the game of real estate, that if you decided to do a really expensive remodel, that doesn't mean that if you drop 100 grand in there, that the house goes up $100,000. There's a difference between actual value and perceived value. And I have no doubt that if your home is dope inside and you actually put a lot of money into it, that what you'll do is you'll fetch the best price that the market can bear, but not necessarily the money that you actually poured into it. I don't really understand how they bought for $20 million, put in a $20 million reno, and then added $20 million in just valuation, other than maybe it's the Kanye West factor. But understand that luxury definitely operates very different than day-to-day normal single-family American dream real estate. All right, next, a close look at Kanye West's strange plans to build the Wyoming home of his dreams. While the ranch already has 2 houses, 8 cabins, several barns, and a few other buildings, TMZ reports that the singer, recording producer, and fashion guru has had permits and plans recently approved to build a 10-bedroom mansion that will reportedly top out at 52,000 square feet. That is a lot of square feet. I actually was just at the Parade of Homes and toured a 20,000 square foot home, and I swear they ran out of rooms of things that you could make rooms for. He's looking at costs of at least $50 million for the main structure. I wonder if he actually has plans here in Wyoming bigger than just the house. Wyoming mysteriously just actually let up on their fracking laws, which means you can actually go for oil. So who knows? I mean, maybe the fashionista and guru and godman actually knows where buried oil might actually be on this property. Now, I know you might be asking yourself, Kris, react to that, man. 52,000 square foot house, $50 million. Like, isn't that a dumb investment? Listen, I'm going to tell you right now that I have something hugely against the pride of the poor. I don't judge people. I don't like to judge whether they have a lot of money or whether they have less money. Let me judge most Americans, though. Do you know that actually for the average American to get qualified for a mortgage, at least with government loan programs, they'll usually allow you to take up to 40% of your income and put it towards a house. That means if you make $100,000 a year, you could spend $40,000 on house payments. This man right now, he's only spending $50 million of his $1.3 billion net worth. I mean, so the reality is he's actually spending a really tiny percentage, probably less than 99% of most Americans when it comes to how much he's willing to spend on his primary residence compared to his net worth. Let's see where else Kanye stashes his cash.
A cash stash.
All right, according to Business Insider, West and his family own $21 million worth of real estate, according to Forbes, including a palatial mansion in Hidden Hills, California. The hip-hop artist has dropped millions on real estate around the country. In New York City, his former Soho apartment, bought by West in 2004 and sold by him in 2018, was listed by the new owner for $4.7 million in September 2019. You know, I actually find this all the time with celebrities. I don't know if they go as far as West to say that they're like real estate gurus and geniuses, but really what he's talking about here is other homes that he personally owns. And I've never considered my own home an investment unless it was making me money. Most people, they buy one home. And if you live in that home and that home costs you money, like the mortgage to live there, that's not an investment. It doesn't mean that you didn't buy it smart. Maybe you bought it below market. And when you someday sell it, you can make money that way. But dude, an investment that isn't paying you on a regular basis, it is a drain financially on you. So listen, West right now, if he owns properties in New York City, a Soho apartment building, and other places, my question is, are these just other second and third and fifth and 10th homes that you own that you visit like a week out of the year and then otherwise just sit? Because if that's true, yeah, duh, it'll go up in value. But you guys understand that when the economy is down, luxury real estate gets smacked really hard. I'm not sure I would consider myself a real estate guru if I owned a second, third, and fourth really expensive home that weren't actually income producing. All right, looks like West also branched into commercial real estate last year. So he does own something aside from, second and fifth homes, when it was reported that he would invest $1 million into a historic Chicago theater. Now, this totally makes sense with the hyper-eclectic individual that we know as Kanye West. I'm kind of curious if this investment actually made any money or actually did anything for him. But I'm just going to tell you right now, when you're really investing in commercial, what you're really doing is investing in a business. So just owning property commercially that isn't really being used intelligently or producing a return, it's not really an investment. These are more just what you would call real estate holdings. In other words, I have assets. And yes, real estate with time goes up in value, but if he's getting in here, I'm thinking, great. How is your historic Chicago theater actually making money? Or are you supporting the arts? Are you supporting people or kids or the underprivileged? Or maybe is there some other use and purpose for this? Right now, anytime you see the word commercial, you got to be asking, how much money does that business make? Not just what is the property worth? Okay, rock on. We actually got some tweets. I always tell my team to include some because that's when we actually get the unfiltered version of what someone is saying. It hasn't gone through the media machine that it censors everything. Okay, looks like Kanye West, 3 in the afternoon of the 14th of February, 2016 says, I write this to you, my brothers, while still $53 million in personal debt. Please pray we overcome. That sounds like a plea for help. 3 hours later, exactly, he tweets, Mark Zuckerberg, invest $1 billion in my ideas. Kate, that's actually a little bit scary. Actually, Forbes goes on to say that even though West says he is worth $3.3 billion, his net worth they peg him at is only $1.3 billion. Listen, $53 billion, here's what you got to understand. All debt is structured differently. And if you want to know one of the things you need to be aware of in life is that when you get a raise or when you make more money, when you financially figure something out, you got to be really careful what you do to your personal lifestyle. There's a law called Parkin's Law. And it basically says you're going to spend plus or minus 10% of whatever you make, which means that if you were to double your income, most people are going to double their lifestyle. And that's why we actually, the richer we get, we don't necessarily actually create solutions for ourselves. Kanye, at least back at this time, may have been in some serious financial trouble because just because you make more doesn't mean you should actually spend more. In fact, the smarter thing to do is the opposite. Figure out how to double your income and take the difference and invest it so that you actually create more cash flow, more residual income, and get yourself in a healthier financial situation instead of this assumption that, well, if I make more, I'll always be able to make that same amount or more, and before you know it, you wind up upside down.
As you can see, it just fell over.
All right, we are diving now into what looks like Yeezy shelters, more real estate. Forbes says that Kanye West has a vision for real estate development too. Okay, we haven't seen this yet. We haven't seen who he is as the real estate developer. I do know that he claims himself as a real estate guru because he has a handful of extra residents. Personally, I don't think that actually qualifies. To the housing sector, West wants to be what Howard Hughes was to aircraft or what Henry Ford was to cars. All right, later that month, he announced a plan to launch an architectural practice called Yeezy Home with an aim to make the world a better place, tackling that in this case would involve the construction of 50-foot dome-like structures in Calabasas, inspired by the aesthetics of Luke Skywalker's home planet Tatooine. West envisioned the design as having potential for affordable housing. So you're talking about an artist like having all these artistic ideas of dome-like structures and seeing if we can create affordable housing out of that. That is one of the more bizarre thoughts I think I've ever seen expressed in development. All right, let's see. Okay, here he is, Kanye West. He's like, this is the, holy crap. Yeezy shelters in process. He's not joking. 50 freaking foot high domes. We are going to Tatooine.
What a piece of junk.
Shoo. Earlier this year, Architectural Digest described West residence as one of the most fascinating, otherworldly, and yes, strange pieces of domestic architecture on the planet. 794 likes when he said, Yeezy Home in the works. Each building is 50 feet high. Sources familiar with the project tell TMZ that Kanye is building a dome-like structures that are prototypes for a new type of home. Homes he believes will break the barrier that separates classes, namely the rich, the middle class, and the poor. So this isn't really real estate development. This is like an artist trying to solve kind of deeper qualms that we have around the world. He says, the relationship that I have with architects, my understanding of sacred proportions, this new vibe, the new energy is what is driving West, the real estate developer. I'm tired of McMansions, he told Charlemagne the God. That is whack. Everybody's house is whack. Okay, so he has something very much against the way real estate is traditionally done in the world. I really do believe that the world can be saved through design, and everything needed to actually be architected, but we're led by the least noble, the least dignified, the least tasteful, the dumbest, the most political. Wow, okay, so right now I'm not so much getting Kanye West as like the businessman. I think I'm getting a rapper that is an artist that has money and has sway and influence that is pushing some really funky ideas through the pipe.
Won't you take me to Funky Town?
This is completely bizarre. I would love to know how this is going to create world peace and save the world from a class system. Though, maybe the really wealthy get the small dome. That might be the outhouse. Maybe they get the smaller dome, and then the poor people, because there's many, get like the bigger domes. I'm not really sure I understand. Literally and figuratively, we all live in boxes, West said. We leave the womb. He's going there. We are back in the womb. And we're directly putting our first square space, which is the beginning of us going from multidimensional and completely imaginative to being placed in a grid. And then he goes on to say that he's going to develop cities. Wow. It's really interesting that he calls like the current approach to real estate development total whack, and that what we all need to do is like domes will solve world peace because design solves everything. Let me share with you what I think is totally bizarre at this point. The man is a legend when it comes to his art as a singer. And we're always curious, like, what does someone do when they have lots of money? Well, he buys a lot of livestock. I'm not sure if that's a business decision or not. We know he's getting into real estate development, but this is all unproven, strange, bizarre stuff. We know that he's throwing money into a lot of other places. He's got some money sitting in the stock market. We know he's hurting from some of his debt in the past. But I just want to be really clear on something. For me, I wouldn't consider someone a genius at anything unless they had a track record. Now, having a lot of money and being a genius in one thing and then buying something, owning something, doesn't mean that you're good at that thing. Just because you have money to inspire or dump into dome-like structures doesn't mean that you're a real estate developer. It means that, listen, if that was your last dime that you were putting in that project and that project fails, you would call yourself a failed developer. I hope that doesn't happen with your Tatooine fantasy land. But dude, Kanye is not a developer. And just like he doesn't have a real estate empire of $21 million, he has second homes that he bought from all of his successful records and maybe clothing line. I have no doubt in my mind that Kanye West is a visionary. He is also an artist. The question is, with time, will his ideas actually pan out? When people look at the $1 billion worth of real estate that I've transacted, what it's created is a track record over thousands and thousands and thousands of homes. And you know what? It doesn't look nearly as colorful or as exciting as anything that West is actually up to right now. But what it does is produce predictable results. By the way, those predictable results actually those proven ideas and results actually turn into money. And money ends up giving people more options and opportunities in life. At least that's my personal experience, that right now, my view on if you want to solve the social woes of the world, you're not going to solve that by actually giving people a pile of money. You need to teach them how to be self-sufficient, self-sustaining. You need to teach people how to claim their own life, claim their destiny, and then manifest what they want in life. I think above all, that's what really allows us to evolve and improve and make the next generation better than the last one. I must say this for Kanye. I, for one, believe in having it all, and I think he does too. He is all over the map. He's all over the board. Check this one out. We are getting into politics. Now I'm fascinated. Where is he going with this? All right, Kanye West has confirmed that he's planning to vote for Donald Trump in 2020 at his presidential election. And his comments have inspired renewed criticism from former fans. He says, quote, "I buy real estate. It's better now than when Obama was in office." I agree. West told GQ's editor-in-chief, Will Welsh, "They don't teach you in school about buying property. They teach you how to become somebody's property." That is so weird. What you really should say is become a successful music artist, make a lot of money, and then buy real estate. For the rest of us out here, we're really starting, most of us, from scratch. We're starting from nothing, and you've got to really make yourself out of nothing. Now, he certainly has done that, But this whole game on real estate, I agree. We should be educating and teaching that in the schools, but we've also got to teach people a realistic path of how they're actually going to make that happen. In a tweet, we must now realize the American dream is by trusting God, unifying our vision and building our future. I'm running for president of the United States, 2020 vision. Elon Musk says, you have my full support. Oh my gosh, this is absolutely amazing. I believe that he actually claimed that for a couple of weeks before he pulled out of the running. Honestly, I think he got in just a little bit too late, but at least he's got Trump to vote for. You know, we sure love to watch celebrities spend their money and buy things. And Kanye, I want to thank you today because you've given us some interesting perspective on life. And also you've done some cool things, brother. You've done some cool things with your money, even if it is real estate domology. But guys, listen, if there's one thing I'm getting from this, it's that Kanye doesn't really have an investment philosophy that other people can tap into and really follow. For those of you that are looking at actually building wealth, maybe you don't have the pipes to rap or sing or make your money that way. I sure don't. But what I do have is a track record that I love to give people for free that teaches them actually a predictable way of making a lot of money in the game of real estate. In fact, I enjoy making 25% a year on my money. That means that my money can double and double and double. And when you get some track record, you can also invest other people's money. This track record actually will reveal for you the last several thousand homes that I've purchased, how I make money. In this one, it is duplicatable. I have people all over the world in different countries that have never created wealth before that get this document for free. And the first 10 pages alone literally reveal step by step exactly how I've built my wealth, my empire, and how you should build your own. Click the link below, get your own copy for free. My team will get it shipped in the mail, and we'll show you how to build your own square boxes. Sorry, they're not domes. You know, there is many a celebrity that's made a lot of money, and then they start buying real estate, and then they think, I'm it, I've got it, I understand real estate. But you gotta understand something. Owning real estate that doesn't have to cash flow or produce anything, dude, anyone with a pile of money can do that. The question is, can you get your real estate to perform? In fact, for it to have any sustainable future and be duplicatable, it has to support itself. So Kanye, I gotta say, man, if you own 3, 4, 5, 10 homes and you bought them cash or you bought them with a loan, if they're not income producing, yes, it is a real estate asset. Yes, it absolutely can go up in value. But if it really is going to stand on its own 2 feet, then it's got to be some type of actual business plan, not just an artist's rendition of a great, theoretical idea. It's got to be something that you can do that will sustain itself and actually pay money. So as far as Kanye West being like a real estate guru, I would remove the last word. I would say Kanye West owns a lot of real estate. Well, my friend, turns out Kanye West may not be the real estate guru to learn from. But try on Robert Kiyosaki. His first book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, inspired my entire real estate journey, which is why I recently took him on head to head in taking my strategies against his to find out who was making the most money in real estate. Check it out. By the way, who would win in a rap battle, me or Kanye?
Money flows easily and effortless to me. I dream it, I scheme it, make it happen, I achieve it. I'm the master of my ship, master of my money tree.